Hello everyone, and welcome back to Unbound Learners Pre-K. How are you feeling today? Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Are you ready to start off with our good morning song? Okay, put your arms out in front into a circle like this, then raise them up high and back out in front. Now let's sing together. Good morning, dear earth. Good morning, dear sun. Good morning, dear rocks and flowers everyone. Good morning, dear beast and birds in the trees. Good morning to you and good morning to me. Let's get started on the weather and calendar. Do you remember what the month is? January. Recently, we started a new month called January. And today is January 12th. So let's move our chip from yesterday, which was the 11th, over to the number 12. Today is January 12th, and the year is 2021. Will you count all the days that we've had in the month of January so far with me? Okay, let me see those counting fingers. Warm them up. Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have had 12 days in the month of January so far. Now let me see 7 fingers for the 7 days of the week. Very good. Will you sing the Days of the Week song with me? Here we go. There are 7 days, there are 7 days, there are 7 days in a week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's move down here. Do you remember what the day was yesterday? Monday. You're right. Yesterday was Monday. So that means that today is Tuesday. So if today is Tuesday, what does that make tomorrow? Wednesday. Excellent, friends. But let's go back to Tuesday and sing Today is Tuesday with me. Today is Tuesday, today is Tuesday, today is Tuesday all day long. Today is Tuesday, today is Tuesday, today is Tuesday all day long. Now if we move back up here, we have the season. Do you remember what season it is? Winter, you're right. And back down here, that means that it's time for our weather song. Are you ready to sing? What's the weather? What's the weather? Can you tell? Can you tell? Is the sun shining? Is the rain falling? Can you tell? Can you tell? What's the weather like where you live? At my house, the temperature is very, very cold. So when I go outside later, I have to make sure to bundle up. All right, friends, it's time for the letter of the week. Yesterday, we learned a new letter. Do you remember what sound this letter makes? Let's make that sound together. This letter says and do you know what letter this is called? That's right. This is a lowercase r, and r says I wonder what we'll find in my number and letter box today. So remember, this starts with the letter R. Are you ready for your first clue? All right. This is a type of animal, specifically a bird. Now, this is a male bird, so it does not lay eggs. And you usually find this bird on a farm. He says, cock-a-doodle-doo. Do you know what it is? If you said rooster, you're right. Rooster starts with the letter R. We also learned a new number yesterday. Do you remember what number this is? The number 6. You're right. And to show 6 fingers, I had to put this down because I needed both of my hands. Will you put up 6 fingers with me? First, we start with one hand because one hand has 5 fingers, but we need one more finger to make the number 6. There we go. Are you ready to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The number 6. Now, I wonder what I have in here. You ready to count with me? All right. Here we go. My 6 pine cones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. When I line them up, it's almost the same size as my mystery box. Now, I was thinking that we could line these pine cones up, put the biggest ones here, and go down, down, down to the smallest. Will you help me do that? All right, so first we need to find the biggest pine cone. Let's see. Here we go. The biggest one goes at the top. Right here, it goes first. And look at that. I think that order is right. This one would seem to go next because it's not quite as big as the first one. We'll put him right here. Now, let's see. Which one would you put next? Is this one bigger or is this one bigger? That's right, so this one would go next. We're slowly getting smaller and smaller. Let's see. This one is a little bit smaller. Now, this is tricky because these pine cones are almost the same, but if you look closely, this one is a little bit taller, so I'm going to put that one next. And look at that! The smallest pine cone goes at the end. So we started with the biggest pine cone and it went down, 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 down to the smallest pine cone. Thanks for helping me put those pine cones in order. Let's continue our discussion on water travel. Yesterday we learned about ferry boats and how ferry boats travel on top of the water. But today I want to talk about specific boats that travel underwater. Do you have any idea as to what type of boat that could be? A submarine, or sub for short. You're right. And why would anybody want to travel underwater? Well, scientists use submarines to study life underwater, and the submarine has special cameras and tools on top of it to do so. Speaking of scientists, today's work tray activity is a really cool science experiment. Are you ready to see what it is? All right, let's check it out. For today's work tray, we are doing a science experiment. So you're going to need a cup of water, or you could fill a bowl. I liked using this clear mason jar because it's transparent, which means that I could see through it, which is going to be pretty important for this science experiment. And then I have different items that I found around the house. You literally could use anything. I have some blocks, a wooden one and a plastic one, a pebble, an acorn, a piece of chalk, and a pine cone. So what I'm going to do is take each item and I'm going to drop it in to my glass of water, and I'm going to observe to see if it sinks down to the bottom or if it's buoyant, which means that it stays on top and floats. Before I drop each item in, I'm going to make a guess or a prediction. So let's start with a piece of chalk. I predict that this chalk is going to sink because it's a little bit heavy. I wonder if I'm going to be right. Let's check it out. Here goes the chalk. Oh, did you see that? I was right. The chalk sunk to the bottom of the glass. Okay, let's move on to another item. Let's move on to the pine cone. I predict that this pine cone is going to float because it's buoyant. Let's see if I'm right. Here it goes. Look at that. The pine cone is floating on top of the water. Now, let's try this plastic block. I predict that this block is going to start on top of the water, but once it fills up with water in this crack, it's going to get heavy and sink. I wonder if that is right. Let's test out my prediction. Look at that. It's floating. But what happens if I fill the crack with water? I'm going to fill it up. Oh, my prediction was wrong. It's still floating, even though it's heavy with water. Interesting. Let's see. I wonder if the same thing will happen with this wooden block. But I predict that this is going to sink. It's heavier than the plastic block, but I could be wrong. Let's check out my prediction. Oh, I was wrong again. This wooden block is floating at the top. All right, I'm pretty sure that this rock is going to sink to the bottom. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. Here it goes. Oh, that went right to the bottom. My prediction was correct. All right, friends, I have one more item. This is an acorn top. Now, this is pretty light, so I think that it's going to be buoyant and stay at the top and float. Let's see. Oh, I was right. The acorn top is floating at the top. So once circle time is done, it will be your turn to do this science experiment. But let's get back to circle time. Welcome back to circle time, friends. I wonder if you're going to find more things that float or more things that sink when it's your turn to do the science experiment. Today we learned about a different type of ship that travels underwater. Do you remember what it's called? That's right, a submarine, or sub for short. Thanks for learning with me today. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also check me out on OutSchool for live and interactive classes. Before we go, we have one more song left to sing. Wave goodbye like this. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. I'll see you next time. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.